Heartbreaking news is emerging from Arizona in today's edition of the Arizona Daily Star. One article, in particular, is especially difficult to read. Former members of the Message movement are being punished by being banned from attending family funerals. Although the article attributes this practice to more extremist offshoots, such as Golden Dawn Tabernacle, this form of punishment is common across William Branham's following. Just weeks ago, John Collins, founder of William Branham Historical Research, shared a similar experience as an escapee from the main sect of Branham's movement when his grandmother passed away. Collins' father, a self-proclaimed minister in the group, barred even the closest relatives from paying their final respects. The Arizona Daily Star, in partnership with the Lee Enterprises Public Service Journalism team, recently published an investigative series titled Twisted Message, an extensive exploration of the Christian religious movement known as the Message, founded on the teachings of William Branham. The investigation, spearheaded by Tim Steller and Emily Hamer, offers a rare glimpse into the group's inner workings and its global influence. With over 50 interviews conducted among former and current followers, religious leaders, and experts, the series underscores the movement's unchecked power and explores its more troubling splinter groups, such as the Golden Dawn Tabernacle in Tucson, Arizona. William Branham, an influential yet polarizing figure in mid-20th century religious movements, founded the Message, a theology marked by strict fundamentalism, apocalyptic predictions, and adherence to Branham's own interpretations of Scripture. While initially embraced by many as a revivalist leader, Branham's teachings took a controversial turn, including the assertion of his own prophetic role in preparing for an impending end-times scenario. Leaders within the New Apostolic Reformation regard Branham as one of God's generals and have rebranded many of his extra-biblical doctrines and practices, creating a new, more militant strain of Christianity. After Branham's death in 1965, the Message fragmented into various offshoots, with some groups adopting increasingly rigid practices. These splinter groups, such as Golden Dawn Tabernacle, are characterized by authoritarian leadership, isolationist tendencies, and an ironclad grip over their members. Golden Dawn Tabernacle, located near Tucson International Airport, exemplifies the extremism of certain Message splinter groups. Led by founding pastor Isaac Noriega, this congregation of approximately 500 members has earned a reputation for its harsh control over members' lives. According to accounts shared in the Arizona Daily Star's investigation, former members described the group as a closed-off, insular community with strict rules governing personal behavior, family relationships, and even basic freedoms. One particularly striking account comes from Andrew Loza, a former member who was excommunicated from Golden Dawn after leaving the group at 18. Loza's departure cost him his relationship with his mother, a devout member who abides by the church's mandate to cut ties with ex-members. Loza hasn't seen her in decades. His story highlights the deep emotional toll of belonging to such groups, where family bonds are severed at the directive of leadership. The investigation reveals a pattern of control and manipulation within the Message and its splinter groups, often justified by theological dogma. At Golden Dawn, excommunication is wielded as a powerful tool to enforce conformity and obedience. Those who leave or defy leadership are shunned not only by the church but often by their own families and communities. This practice extends to barring former members from attending weddings, family gatherings, and even funerals, a particularly painful form of exclusion. Former members recount being cut off from siblings, parents, and children, with relationships severed at the discretion of church leadership. This extreme form of control serves to isolate members further and ensure their dependency on the church community. The ban on former members attending funerals represents the most striking example of the power wielded by groups like Golden Dawn. Funerals, deeply personal and sacred moments, are denied to those who have chosen or been forced to leave the fold. This practice amplifies the pain of familial estrangement, leaving former members with unresolved grief and a lingering sense of exclusion. One former member shared their anguish over being prohibited from attending their father's funeral. Despite years of familial love and connection, the Church's decree overrode these bonds, enforcing a cruel final separation. Such actions reveal the extent to which message splinter groups prioritize control over compassion. The Arizona Daily Star's investigation also highlights the global reach of the message and its offshoots. While Golden Dawn represents a particularly extreme example, the broader movement includes many groups operating under similar principles. Experts consulted for the series emphasized the lack of accountability and oversight within these organizations, allowing harmful practices to persist unchecked. In some cases, this extremism extends to gender roles, financial exploitation, and emotional manipulation. Former members described an environment where questioning leadership or doctrine was met with swift punishment, and dissenters were often labeled as enemies of the faith. The courage of former members speaking out against these practices is a key element of the investigation. Many of these individuals, despite the risks of further estrangement or retaliation, shared their stories to shed light on the movement's darker side. Their testimonies reveal patterns of abuse and manipulation, as well as the emotional scars carried by those who escape such environments. Some former members have found solace in support groups and online forums, where they can connect with others who have experienced similar struggles. These spaces provide a much-needed outlet for healing and validation. The series raises critical questions about the lack of accountability within religious movements like the Message. While religious freedom is a cornerstone of democratic society, the practices of some message groups highlight the need for greater oversight to prevent abuse and protect individuals' rights. Investigative efforts like Twisted Message play a crucial role in exposing these issues and fostering public awareness. Despite the challenges, there is hope for change. Increased scrutiny from journalists, activists, and former members brings these issues to light, creating opportunities for reform. Organizations dedicated to supporting survivors of high-control groups also play a vital role in helping individuals rebuild their lives and reconnect with loved ones. The story of the Message and its splinter groups serves as a reminder of the importance of vigilance in protecting personal freedoms and preventing the misuse of religious authority. While the emotional toll on those affected is undeniable, their voices are a powerful force for change. The Arizona Daily Star's investigation into the Message and its offshoots, including Golden Dawn Tabernacle, underscores the dangers of unchecked authority within high-control groups. Practices such as excommunication and funeral bans reveal the extreme measures used to enforce loyalty and maintain control. By amplifying the voices of survivors and exposing these practices, the investigation sheds light on a hidden world of pain and manipulation. As awareness grows, there is hope for a future where such practices are no longer tolerated, and individuals are free to live without fear of isolation or exclusion.